I'm going to play a descending bebop scale. This will be a G dominant tonality. So this will be a G. Here's a straight G Mixolydian scale. But I'm putting an extra half step between G and F. So there's going to be G, F sharp, F. That's the descending bebop scale. And I'm going to take it one step further, and I'm going to take it, instead of G to G, I'm going to take it G to F. So I have another opportunity to play G, F sharp, F natural at the bottom of the figure. So a descending G bebop scale, G to F. And I'm going to take the same thing, but I'm going to start on B, starting on the third of this tonality. We are in an F dominant tonality here. So starting from B and moving down the bebop scale to F. What I love about the bebop scale, when I first was introduced to the concept of matching scales with chords, you know, this kind of chord, use this kind of scale. My first attempts at that were clumsy, and they sounded like scales. When I eventually learned the bebop scales and just incorporating one extra half step, my scale lines started to sound like jazz language. So what I just played is simply a bebop scale from B to F, but if you play it with a swing feeling and a jazz articulation, it sounds like a line. Let me play it over that chord. What I love about the bebop scale is there's something magical about adding one more scale tone to a standard 7-note diatonic scale, and you add one more note rhythmically, you find yourself landing in more desirable places. So you're landing on these desirable notes, and those notes that you land on can be launching points for a new phrase. So you may play a bebop scale into a note and play a different kind of phrase, and then play a bebop scale from another scale degree and move down. And the bebop scale has allowed me to do what I would call like perpetual motion kind of things. So just a steady stream of eighth notes. And there's something about the straight diatonic scale without that half step in it where it kind of doesn't work as well. So let me just demonstrate that. So we went from B to F. That was all, there wasn't any notes outside of the G bebop scale for what I played there. I played a figure, I landed on another place, and then I played another figure, and then I went down the scale again. So anyway, I'm sort of getting off the point here. What I want to introduce you to is the concept of playing descending figures using the bebop scale from any of the scale degrees. Now, when I say any of the scale degrees, I'm probably leaving out the half step, the F sharp. Technically, that F sharp is also is a scale degree, but we're just going to ignore that one note. So anyway, I've played a descending figure starting on the root, and then I've been playing it on the third here. We could do it off of the fifth. We'll do it from D to F. We just keep going to the same ending note. Now here, I'm going to move up one more chord tone. We're skipping a third up to F natural. And here we're going to go F to F. So that was a G bebop scale starting on the flat 7. Now something funny happens if we start trying to do this same thing, just sticking to a straight bebop scale off of the other scale degrees. So an example of this would be A. It's not as desirable. There's too many notes or there's not enough notes. But we need to make a change. We need to either subtract one note or add one more note. So I'm going to demonstrate what I mean. I've come up with a set of rules for these. I'll call them non-chord tones in the G dominant scale. I'm going to say the chord tones are root, third, fifth, and seventh. You could play descending figures using the bebop scale and no other notes, and it works great. All of those chord tones, we don't have to make any modifications. For these non-chord tones, we're going to be talking about the notes A, C, and E. For those notes, if we play a descending figure in this dominant tonality, we're going to have to, I've come up with a set of rules, 2 options. Remove the half step, the bebop scale half step from the top part of the scale. Or add one more half step. Keep the bebop scale half step and add one more. So let's explore the first option. From the A, we're just taking out the F sharp. We're leaving it at the bottom of the figure. We're going to go A to F. We're going to have F sharp F at the bottom of the figure, but we're taking it out of the top part. So this is just a Mixolydian scale until we get to the bottom of the figure. Rhythmically, that works. That works well. Anyway, you could do perpetual motion stuff, and you're starting in kind of an awkward place on an A, but just take out the F sharp. The other option is to keep the bebop scale half step and add one more half step. So we're going to put the half step between E and D. So it's going to be from G, I'll spell it out. G, F sharp, F, E, D sharp, D, and then on down the scale. So it's a completely chromatic line starting from G to D. It's completely chromatic. Anyway, so let me demonstrate it from the A. This is our awkward note, and this is our other option, adding one more half step. That works. Anyway, so those are your 2 options for non-chord tones. Keep the top part a pure diatonic scale until the last, if we're taking it down to the 7, we just include the half step there, or we add a half step between the 6th and the 5th degree. These rules completely apply when we go to the 4th of the scale, the C. And by the way, I'm speaking saxophone notes. This is a B-flat tenor saxophone. So C is actually B-flat concert. But from the 4th of the G scale, let me just try it using the bebop scale, and you see it doesn't quite work so well. I'll start it up here. It's awkward, rhythmically awkward. So we need to make an adjustment. There's too many notes. we just take out the F sharp again. Now suddenly it fits beautifully. It's a little bit of a challenge to think of this halfway bebop scale. You know, we're just putting the half step at the bottom. Interesting. Let's add the half step. We'll keep the bebop scale half step, and we're going to have an F sharp in this and a D sharp. Realistically, I don't know when I would start a phrase on the fourth like that, but I'm just trying to be thorough, I guess. To me, I like starting the line on the A and the C, and when we get to the E, I like starting it there. But I don't think I would actually start a bebop scale line on the fourth degree of the dominant scale. But it works. Here's the subtractive method. No F sharp until the end. Here's the addition method, I guess you'd call it. I'm going to add a D sharp to the figure. And that works also. Let's take it up to E. And this, let me just play it, just a straight bebop scale. That's awkward. So I'm going to take out the F sharp. That works. Now we're going to add the E flat or D sharp, and it brings up an interesting question. Should we put the D sharp at the top of the figure because we're starting it on E? That works. And then we leave it out. We can't do it in both places. We leave the D sharp out in the middle of the horn. We could also put the D sharp in the middle of the horn and leave it out of the top figure. Anyway, those are my thoughts and my own personal rules that I've kind of recently solidified for my own playing, is that chord tones, you could just use a straight bebop scale. Non-chord tones, either you have to remove a half step or add an extra one. So that's my rule. I thought about writing this out, and I think it would just clarify things if I do that. So I'm going to write out some of these figures and include it in the edit of this video. A shout out to Cannibal Saxophones. This is my Big Bell Stone series with the Raven finish. Love this horn. I just want to mention them. While we're talking equipment, I've got a Berg Larson hard rubber. I have no idea what the number is. It says 100/0 SMS. Anyway, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And see you guys next time. I'm trying to get more educational content out on this channel. I have a harmonica channel that I'm real active with, teaching if you're interested in the harmonica, I'm a good harmonica teacher.